Did I cheat? I slept around while she was out of the country indefinitely, before we were officially together but still romantic. I got divorced in January of last year. My ex of nearly 8 years likely cheated on me, but I'm not sure, and I'll never know. It turned my whole life upside down. I couldn't bear staying in place, so I moved out of state to be closer to my family. I lost my marriage, my house, my dog, and some friends. Shortly after moving, I met a woman. I'll call her Iris. I liked her and I asked for her number. She warned me she was likely going to travel to Africa a month later, and that there was a good chance she would move there permanently. I said okay. I figured a low commitment thing was exactly what I needed at that point of my life. I told her about my own situation. We started dating. And then we really fell for each other. Me more than her, I think. I discovered she is an amazing person. I've never admired someone so much or felt so attracted. I thought she must have been too good to be true. It was too fast, surely. Too soon after my divorce. Everything about her felt so right, but I knew I was too vulnerable and couldn't trust my own emotions. And while she also felt strongly about me, I think, she nonetheless decided she was going to travel, and I grew increasingly distressed the closer we got to the date of her leaving. I tried very hard not to pressure her to stay, because I didn't think it was my place, but I didn't quite manage. I told her I wanted to be in a relationship with her, that I couldn't do long distance. I said that maybe I could wait for her for 3 months, but no more, and even that was asking a lot of someone in my shoes. She told me not to wait. That she wasn't ready for a relationship with me. She said, wisely, that I shouldn't commit to anyone so soon after a divorce. She said I should see other people, but that if I did, she didn't want to know about it, and I should wear a condom. She also said she didn't know if she was coming back, and that if she came back in, say, a year, that would have been a short time. She said she hoped we could be together eventually, that maybe one ambiguous day in the future she'd knock at my door, see if I was available, and maybe we could try then. I told her I didn't want to see other people, and I meant it. Iris was my third sexual partner. I'd never casually dated before, and meeting her had interrupted any desire to start. I just wanted her. But she left, and I felt more heartbroken than I had from my divorce. So she hoped we'd be together in some nebulous future but couldn't tell me if she was coming back anytime soon, if ever, and had given me her blessing to see other people, but didn't want to know about it. A kind of don't ask don't tell policy. So that's what I did. I started going on casual dates and hooking up with people. I assumed Iris might do the same. Meanwhile, we continued talking, and it was romantic because we still had feelings for each other. Iris continued to express hope that we'd be together someday, but still couldn't give me any concrete answers about when that day might come. That combination of hope and hopelessness was crushing, and it also made me feel guilty about seeing other people. While she had given me what felt like a logical blessing to date around, it had not felt like an emotional blessing, and that was confusing. And I'd been asked not to talk about it, which seemed fucked up, but I went with it because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I don't regret dating, for several reasons. I was intensely lonely in that period, and it helped with that. My ex had done a number on my self-esteem, and it was nice to feel attractive and desirable for the first time in the better part of a decade. It made me realize I should have dated way more when I was younger, because if I had, I probably wouldn't have made the mistake of marrying my ex. Most importantly, it clarified to me that Iris wasn't a rebound. Every person I met was a reminder of how uniquely amazing she was. Every date I went on made me long for her more. I had hoped the dating would help me get over her leaving and accept she was never coming back, and instead it was doing the opposite. It was making me feel like no one would live up to her, and making me feel worse and worse about her being gone. As time went by, I agonized over how it still seemed Iris would never come back, that she still wouldn't give me any clarity about what she was planning. No timeline, no hope. Some 2 months after she had left, I couldn't take the emotional stress anymore. I tried to tell her I needed to distance myself emotionally. I reminded her what she'd said about knocking on my door one day and seeing other people, and suggested that maybe we should do that. Obviously there was a lie there. I'd already been seeing other people and I was looking for confirmation that it was still okay. But I'd felt she had asked me to lie and I didn't know how else to go about it. She recoiled instantly, said that if I dated other people, she wanted nothing to do with me, and made it clear we would never have a chance. I was puzzled and alarmed. It seemed to directly contradict what she had said before leaving, and made it obvious that if she knew what I'd been up to, she would feel very upset and leave me on the spot. I hadn't liked lying about it, but up until then, I'd felt I had her approval to date around. Suddenly I didn't have that approval anymore. Suddenly I was in a position where what I'd done had actually been wrong, and coming clean would be extremely difficult. And that's also when, for the first time since she had left, she gave me any sort of hope for us. She revealed that she actually felt increasingly committed to me, that she had been thinking about coming back for me, and that she had been staying loyal to me this whole time. She seemed surprised at how impactful this revelation was. She hadn't understood just how awful the indefinite long distance had been for me. Once she said that, I backtracked completely. I panicked. I didn't want to break up. We weren't even officially together, but that's how it felt. It was terrifying that someone would make the sort of enormous commitment to me that she was suggesting, but it was also everything I wanted. I expressed to Iris how excited I was at the prospect of her coming back. I broke it off with women I'd been seeing and deleted the dating apps. I felt the crushing guilt of knowing she was probably coming back, believing I'd remained exclusive to her all along, just like she had to me, even though we hadn't established that, even though she had encouraged otherwise, even though she had, in my mind, instructed me to lie to her. But knowing all this didn't make the guilt go away. I wanted to tell her. I felt she deserved to know, and I wrote out a long letter explaining it all, but ultimately I didn't send it, in part because I thought it would needlessly complicate things. She had asked not to know. So why tell her? To clear myself of pointless guilt. I told myself it was selfish to want to tell her, and tried to just get over it. She came back from Africa, and we have been together since, now approaching a year since her return. It has been utterly wonderful. She is a dream. I've never known someone so tender and understanding. She has made me feel like I can truly be myself with her, like we can communicate about anything. I've been loyal to her and have had no desire to be with anyone else. But for the past year, the guilt of having lied to her while she was traveling didn't go away. I hated that I lied, it was killing me, and every time she praised my integrity and honesty, it made it worse. So 2 days ago, I told her. I told her in a moment of vulnerability, of feeling so much love and trust from her that I genuinely felt she could accept what I'd done. And she is hurt. She feels betrayed and disgusted. I feel horrible for her. There is a good chance we are breaking up. She says that because before she left I had said I didn't want to date other people and just wanted her, she had thought it meant I wasn't going to. She says she had meant she just didn't want details about who I was with, but that she had wanted to know if I was seeing people. I think that makes sense now, but that was not how I had understood it. I feel like we've had an awful misunderstanding. I wish I hadn't said anything, because I know my commitment to her, I know my love, and I know I'd never cheat on her. And I may have irreparably damaged her trust. I'm also ashamed I primarily said my truth not for the sake of honesty, but to free me of the unshakable guilt I'm not even sure I deserve to feel. The way I was raised, in an abusive Catholic household, guilt is a constant presence and not a good barometer for judging a situation. I feel bad about the dishonesty, but I also feel anger because the situation was fucked up. She had given me no clarity about what she was doing or what she wanted. She had made it very clear she thought I shouldn't commit to her. She had given me hope with one hand and starved me of it with the other. I'd felt like my heart had been dragged around on a string for 2 months until she actually communicated what she wanted. But I love her and I want to make it work. I think we miscommunicated on both sides, and I forgive her for her part. But I also know that no matter how I see the situation, she feels betrayed and disgusted and cheated. She says that if she forgives me, she'll feel like a sucker. She says she wants to have casual sex with other men to balance the scales and feel better. I know that won't fix anything, and I hope it's just the hurt talking. How do I fix this? Do you think I cheated? And if I did, is it forgivable? Comment. Hey bro. Just end it? It started off with a misunderstanding with no clear communication and it got worse. My advice: simply tell her you will end the relationship because based on what she is currently saying or doing is the same as in the beginning. After she sleeps around, she will treat you like shit. You don't need to accept abuse. No one should. End it. She might behave as I expect, which is get mad and / or desperate for you to stay. You need to understand that women communicate very differently for men and it is very manipulated at many points. I'm not saying you are innocent, but it will be better to leave if she feels it is unfair. I have been in relationships and more than ever I understand if I do mess up I will own up to it. But I will never let a woman treat me like shit and pine after her for her forgiveness. This always leads to them leaving after having destroyed you inside and out. Women in general, not all, are wired a particular way and it shows when you describe the earlier part of that situationship in the beginning. So man up and deny her that part of sleeping around, because if you genuinely want to make the relationship work, that is a hard no for you.